something that it's opened my mind to a lot of different things as to maybe why I'm a little bit wobbly with some things. That's given me kind of an agenda to look at, to be able to get up, say what I need to say, move on with it, and be confident in doing so.
Throughout my career, I have done a fair amount of public speaking work, and I actually have a background in live TV. Public speaking is something that has been relatively comfortable and easy for me to incorporate. But what I really didn't know is how to market myself as a speaker, how to perfect my craft. So I've got no formal training, and also how much I should be charging, how much I could charge. With Jamie's Paid to Speak course, I now have a really, really good system in place. I understood immediately through doing the course exactly where I was going wrong. Anybody who's thinking about joining the Paid to Speak course, definitely dive right in. There is so much value there. The content included is actually bite-sized. They're really short videos that manage to teach you so much in just a few minutes. Jamie, thank you so much. You have taught me so much, and I'm really enjoying learning with you. I'm loving your PR club, and as you know, Paid to Speak absolutely changed my life.
I've just purchased the Paid to Speak course, and I watched a few of the training videos, training in there.
Sorry?
Nice.
No, this is just advertising. So,
concise in what I'm doing. I have an agenda that I follow, and the result of it is definitely noticeable. It's much more interesting to people, it's straight to the point, and it definitely secures them in the business, which is what obviously my goal is. Still interested in Paid to Speak, just do it. The benefits are unbelievable, and no matter what industry you're in, whether you're trying to be paid to speak, or whether you're like in front of an audience, or whether you're just trying to make your message more clear, whether that be real estate, solicitor, and trying to sell your services, it definitely is beneficial.
Paid to speak because I'm an experienced speaker, but I don't know what I don't know. And signing up was the best thing ever because it taught me all the elements of speaking that I had no idea about. I've been operating in ignorance for years and years, and now I know the right way to go about it. Before I joined Paid to Speak, I just knew how to get up and speak, but I didn't know speaking gigs. I didn't know about the sequence of content speaking. It really took me from a complete amateur to having a lot more of a clue about what I should be doing in a speaking gig and how to find those speaking gigs in the first place. If someone was undecided about whether to go with Paid to Speak or not, I would say definitely jump in. There is so much to learn, and the more information you have, the more confidence and certainty you have in being able to speak. So certainly sign up because you'll be doing this off the best day that ever.
Well, good morning, good evening. Welcome to day 2 of Speak and Earn. Hope you are doing well. Here we are today. If you didn't get to join us yesterday, here we are day 2. So yesterday we went through our one sheet and our speaker toolkit, all the things we need as part of that. If you haven't yet watched the recording, it will be available until the end of this week, so until next Monday. So hopefully you can do some binge watching on the weekend. And it is in the Facebook group as well. But here we are today talking about how to pitch ourselves to get speaking gigs. Today, I promise today is going to go less than an hour. Yesterday, I did go 5 minutes over and a couple of you called me on it. But today, that will not be the case. This is the shorter day. But tomorrow is the one you do not want to miss because it is all about how to find those highly paid speaking gigs, how to find decision makers in any company. Let me just expand my Zoom. There's quite a few people on today. Welcome, a couple of new faces as well. I'd love to know what your area of expertise is today. So type into the chat. I'll bring it open here. I'd love to know if you know already what your area of expertise is. So are you an allied health professional? Are you a leadership coach? Maybe tell me what sort of topics you're thinking about going for at the moment, because today's session is all about giving you some clarity on how to come up with your keynote topics that are really going to attract attention from our clients. So we've got Ted's first off the bat there, AI training and implementation. That's a huge area. I cannot get enough AI training myself. I just lap it up. I'm always watching videos on it and investing in courses. That's a really great area to be in. Christopher says transnational migrant heritage, oral history. Wow, how cool. Catherine, diversity and inclusion coach and a mentor. Hey, Mel, good to see you. She's self-leadership, communication and leadership more broadly. Lots of experience from Mel there. Leadership, teamwork and change. Yeah, thank you, Barb. And Lucy says ADHD, parenting, late diagnosis and women in agriculture. Wow, what a broad mix of people we have. Mindfulness, neurodiversity training, women's empowerment coach, self-leadership mindset, life and business coach for mums. I love the niching of that. I was listening to a podcast today with Amy Porterfield and Gary Vaynerchuk, so Gary V. And Jasmine Starr, the three of them are doing a podcast if you know any of those names. If not, Gary Vaynerchuk is one to check out. He was saying there's no such thing as niche because you are the niche, which kind of went against what I was talking about yesterday. But I think when you're trying to pitch cold to corporate clients, the more niche you are, the better it's going to be. But then as you build your personal brand, that's when you are the niche. People are buying into you, your reputation, testimonials, and all that sort of thing. So we've got personal transformation and bereavement support, end of life planning, death care and bereavement, another bereavement, and personal experience with death of a friend. Wow, that's really niche, Catherine. Yeah, thanks for explaining that. Dee says resilience and mental health. Mel loves them. Yeah, they're great. Living the intended life, the spirit-led life, and live free or die. Also problem solving. Oh my goodness, some of these keynotes that I would love to be in the audience for. I'm a life coach specializing in the fly and fly out industry, helping and guiding individuals, couples, and families navigating the industry in long periods of time apart. Cool. Trading presenter, mental health, creative therapies, neurodivergence. We've got burnout recovery and health restoration optimization for executive women. Oh my goodness, what a talented bunch. This is a really amazing business strategy for growing mum and dad. You know what I love about this? You really have been so specific on what you do. So you're really a step ahead. So congratulations to so many of you. Let's take it up a level today and really give you some clarity on your keynote topics. If you did miss yesterday, I've shared the one sheet template. It's my exclusive one, which we've created. Shira, my VA, and I created it from scratch. And that is yours to use and to copy and paste, to, drag and drop your colors, your photos, all that sort of thing in there. I'd love to see. I think someone shared one before. I have to have a look at it, but please share and obtain feedback from each other and give each other some great feedback there on how they can make it better or what you love about their one sheets, because this is really what I use to get on podcasts, which we're going to talk about today. And then, of course, tomorrow is all about how to find those gigs. You do not want to miss tomorrow. It's mind-blowing. Hey, Yentle. Yentle is only around the corner from me here in Jamaica at the moment. She has a PhD in intellectual property for origin products and how to brand products like champagne, but for the Caribbean, rum, cocoa, sugar, and it matters for our post-colonial trade and development. Yeah, Yentle, so great to have you on the call. I'm in Jamaica, for those who don't know, only for 2 more days, though, before I head back to Australia. I've been here for 8 months, and Yentle is one of the talented people I've been blessed to come in contact with, originally from Trinidad. Danny says chronic pain and stress, survived a debilitating brain injury, childhood trauma, and now thriving. Wow. Amazing story I'm sure you have to share. It sounds inspiring, just you giving me the description. So thank you so much. All right, so keep them coming. I'll keep looking at them. It's just so great to know who is in the room, the virtual room today. But you are here in the right place if you want to start getting paid good money to speak. We're done with the free speaking, done with it's good publicity, it's good exposure, when really these event organizers are making money from conferences and they're making ticket sales from having you as the draw card speaker. So we want to start charging. I'm really, really passionate about this because you've made the mistakes. You've built up the knowledge in your head. You don't want to give that away for free. And I know so many of you have made those sacrifices, whether you're a parent, whether you've overcome some sort of adversity, you've done work experience, you've studied, you've spent a lot of money to learn and time to know and learn what you know. And so you don't want to give that knowledge away for free. And so, you're going to have hundreds of speaking opportunities all around the world and earn more money than you ever have. Now, up until I came to Jamaica in October last year, I was always Australian focused. And I thought, well, I'm so close to the East Coast of the US. So the strategies I'm going to give you, particularly tomorrow, you can use anywhere in the world. So if you want to go to London like I did last year in August and get some speaking gigs there, I'm going to show you how to target that location and how to target the certain events and the certain audiences that you need to target. But before we do that tomorrow, we need to know how to pitch. And that's what we're doing today. So type yes into the chat if you are ready to make this year your best year yet. So I'm talking about next financial year from 1st of July. It's going to be our best year in business. I know many of you haven't necessarily had the best year in business. There's been some challenges, but let's draw a line in the sand. And from the 1st of July, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be our best year yet. I can feel it. I can just feel the mindset in my own business. I'm very, very excited. Yeah, I'm seeing some big yeses. Hell yes, it's time. Yeah, it's, and a lot of it is mindset. If we all have that, I think, there's been a lot of uncertainty in Australia in particular, a lot of economic uncertainty, and let's just go forward for next financial year with, absolute positive mindset and really putting ourselves out there and backing ourselves, because there are literally hundreds of speaking opportunities, thousands of speaking opportunities in Australia alone, let alone around the world. And I know that firsthand. And once you know that and you back yourself, you'll be so excited just to see what other opportunities come your way. I love it. Greg said, yeah, start date is a good way to push the go button and bring it on, says Hannah. Let's get into it. All right. So I just wanted to also talk, yesterday I talked about some bonuses and I saw 3 of you have jumped in to pay to speak. Welcome, 2 gentlemen. 2 gentlemen were first and a female as well. So welcome. You are going to not only get the bonuses I talked about, but I'm giving you a new bonus, a very, very cool bonus, which tomorrow I'm also going to detail on how we use it. But just to give you a quick snapshot, it's a corporate training proposal template. So this is the template I use to get corporate gigs. In the last 2 years, I've scored Bunnings, Qantas and Macquarie Bank from using this exact Canva template. And so I don't offer it to anybody else. My PR club members, of course, have access to it. It's my membership that I have, which is not just for speakers. It's for any small business owner. But basically, this is what I use. And I'm going to show you tomorrow how you can customize it to a company that you are trying to target and talk about the different details. But not only am I going to give you the template if you jump into Paid to Speak before 6 p.m. Sydney time tomorrow night. So you've got a little bit over 24 hours, about 36 hours or so, a bit less. I'm also going to give you the exact one I use to successfully pitch to Macquarie Bank in Australia. Macquarie Group to be specific, but we did Macquarie Bank. I'm going to show you word for word. You can actually get a copy of this template as well as the other blank template. That is a bonus if you jump into the course by 6 p.m. tomorrow night. And so this is what we use. We PDF it, we pitch it to the corporate clients. But tomorrow, I don't want to bombard you too much today, because tomorrow is going to be mind-blowing. Make sure you have a good cup of coffee and be really ready to go tomorrow morning. I'm going to show you how we scrape the email addresses from anyone in any company and how we find those decision makers to use this to pitch to. If for those of you who've already jumped into Pay to Speak, this is in the course for you waiting in Module 1 under, it says Corporate Proposal Template, and also the bonuses are in Module 1 as well. So that's a special bonus for anyone who jumps into the course between now and and tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So that's the template, which, is fabulous, and I use it all the time. Let's go through now our topics that sell. So I'm going to take you through the top 5. So I think Ted says yes. Yeah, yes is the right answer, Ted. He had a call when I asked the question. I was basically asking if you're ready to make this year your best year yet. I love how you've just gone with everyone else. Yes. Yes is the right answer. I love that. So let's go through the top 5 topics, starting with the first one, which is kind of a lens that you can place on any topic, and that is the future. People love an inkling into the future. So if you have some sort of prediction, such as the next 5 years for the real estate industry in Australia, or the next 5 years, or what brand IP means for the world, or the next 3 years for X, not all of you will be able to do this. So for example, public speaking, it's not necessarily, you're able to draw on my Canva template. Great. That's very impressive there. I've never seen that before. You've taken control of my screen. I've never ever seen that. Can you somehow erase that? That's really dangerous. I think it was Greg that popped up there. So that's okay. Yeah, no worries. But that's freaky how you were able to do that. It must be an easy thing to do, but it's never happened here before. So yeah, going into the future, if you can add this kind of lens, audiences love it. They lap it up. Even if it's just your opinion, your sort of prediction. Can you get rid of that? Because it's going to be on every screen now, I think, Greg. If you can't, I'll just close it down and reopen it. Just let me know. So yeah, people love that. Even if it's just your opinion. Thank you. Your opinion, what your prediction is. You are a subject matter expert. No one has a crystal ball, but I would pay to go and hear someone's prediction because people want that. They want to know. So have a think about your keynote topic or what you're thinking about is going to be one of your top 3 keynote topics. And you'll notice on the one sheet template, if you haven't yet joined the Facebook group, join the Facebook group because I shared the template in there again about half an hour or 30 minutes ago. You're going to have 3 main topics, no more than that. I used to have 5, but I just found that was overwhelming and I gave people too many options. And it's the same now with your Instagram bio. If you give people too many options to click on, like download my free thing, listen to my podcast, join the waitlist for my course, visit my website, too many options, people don't like it anymore. We've got too much information overload, and it's the same with your keynote topics. So you want to just stick to 3 topics, and that's what we're going to focus on. So start to think if you can add the future to your topic, a futuristic lens. Mental health and well-being. Now, some of you are already in this space, and if you are late to the call, feel free to type into the chat what you do, and particularly if you are a mental health and well-being speaker. Now, for some of you, you may not realize that you actually fall into this category. So, for example, it was about 18 months ago now, I was asked to speak at my local hospital in Newcastle in Australia called the John Hunter Hospital to all the middle managers, senior managers about public speaking. Now, they actually put me down as a mental health and wellbeing speaker. It was a series of speakers, a series they were getting in over 6 weeks, I think, under the topic of helping others. And so from a mental health and wellbeing perspective, they got me in to talk about having difficult conversations, mastering your message with patients, with stakeholders, with your boss, with your subordinates. And that they put me in that category. And I never, ever would have imagined that I would fall in that category. It's a huge area. There's a lot of people in this space, but there's also a lot of money being spent on mental health and well-being speakers. So if you fall into this category, you've already got the edge. It's a very much hot topic and in demand at the moment. Naomi, I'm saying 3 topics. Yeah. So for me, it's how to master public speaking, how to become a paid speaker or how to become a highly paid speaker, and how to master media interviews. So yeah, I think I used to have 5. I used to have those plus how to write press releases and how to do your own public relations. Too many. When you try and market to too many people, and by having 5 topics, you're doing that, you market to none. And it's so strange how that happens. The more specific and targeted you get with your promoting and your messaging and your focus with your marketing, the more people you attract. Even with right now, my last course, I had 43 women in paid to speak and 1 man. So I thought, oh, okay, well, women are my people. Women are my customer avatar. So in all of my reels, I'm doing blue. Blue is normally the color I use for paid to speak. It's my color of my website, color of these slides. I started adding some pink, thinking, well, it's women. I've had two gentlemen join the course and 1 female overnight. And actually in Speak and Earn, there's more men that have signed up. So it's so strange how it works. But if I tried to cater to men and women, I wasn't attracting as many. But even though I tried to focus to women, I attracted men. So my point is when you try and narrow your niche down, you end up attracting more people. Because your messaging is still clear rather than just trying to be all wish-washy and trying to cater to all different audiences. Oh, wow. We have some incredible people on the call today. This is amazing. How to get rid of negative thinking, cognitive behavioral therapy. We've got, you also look in the industry, Kate, fabulous. How to get rid of negative thinking. I'm a cultural inclusion facilitator and also coach for women in perimenopause season wanting more out of life. Wow. Cannot get more niche than that, Carol. I love that. Jackie's a police prosecutor. I've lived in professional experience of domestic violence. Would love to work with women in rebuilding their lives after abusive relationships. So many opportunities, so many different organisations who have been set up, not for profit, as well as paid opportunities for you. That will be the trap for you, I guess, doing so many of them pro bono. You'll need to really up level, Jackie, I think, and really back yourself to start charging if you haven't already, or have some services on offer, like a coaching service, one-on-one service, knowing that you're going to get in front of your ideal customer. So you can sort of upsell them for that as well. Mindfulness for busy minds and also breaking bad habits. Love that, Luigi. Number 3 is economics and finance. And some of you fall into this space, but this is actually a huge area. And it's also a huge opportunity for paid speaking clients. So for myself, a lot of my work comes from the banks, the credit unions, the superannuation, the insurance industries, sort of private sector in this world as well. I do a lot of work with accountants, financial planners. In my PR club, I've got quite a few people in this space as well. So it's a huge area. If you are already playing in the money space, budgeting space, you are definitely in demand. And the challenge for you now will be to just really niche down your topics. Number 4 is leadership. And so many of you, that probably most of you, would fall into this category of leadership. It is a crowded space. There's a lot of people saying, I do leadership coaching and all that sort of thing, but there's also huge demand for it. And I actually do work, this is probably, if I had to pick, allied health professionals and leadership coaches are probably among the 2 sort of categories that join Pay to Speak. But you can't pick it, but just traditionally, I've got a lot of leadership coaches in particular. And the thing I find with them is the more niche they get, the better. This is definitely a common theme that I'm talking about here, because otherwise, what's going to make you stand out as one leadership coach compared to the next? Think about what you do. Another great tip with these topics, by the way, is the how-to. The how-to is a really popular, sellable element you can add to your keynote. So for me, how to become a highly paid speaker, how to master media interviews, how to be better at public speaking. The how-tos, because people then go, wow, I want to do that. It's a really great call to action. It's something I can take away and really come off knowing more about or learn how to do. If you can put a how-to in front of your keynote topic, you're really going to be a step ahead there as well. Oh, what was number 2? Yep, no worries. Number 2 was mental health and well-being there, Joe. I think I missed a quick question as well. I think I did. Did I miss one? Yeah, but it was number 2, mental health and well-being. Thanks, Mel, for adding that in. I appreciate that. So economics and finance, and then leadership, sales and marketing. This is number 5. This is my top 5. So sales and marketing, if you are able to educate people on how to bring more money into the business. So I do a lot of this work for real estate agents, for example, property industry, teaching them how to show up on camera and how to do reels, how to just do stories, documenting in the moment what they are doing. And then real estate principals, real estate industry is happy to pay for me as a speaker for that, because they know they're going to get bang for their buck. They're going to get a return on investment because their people are going to make more money into the business. So if you fall into this category, always think, great. So if I was the owner of this business, or if I was the organizer of this conference, what am I going to get out of it for my people from hearing you speak? And that's where the how-tos will really come into play. Hey, Beck, good to see you. All right, so podcasts. This is, it's funny. 2 years ago, if you asked me what's my number 1 PR tip in general, I would have said press releases. But now it's podcasts. Yeah, number 4 was economics and finance. PJ, just going through them quickly again. Don't worry, you'll get a copy of the recording. But the future, mental health and well-being, economics and finance, number 3. Number 4 is leadership, and number 5 is sales and marketing. So podcasts, who here has never been on a podcast? Be honest. Thanks, Yentil, for summarizing that. Who's never been on a podcast? Yep, great. Then so easy. Oh, we have a few people. I love it. So many opportunities. Podcasts are where it's at, because it's a really great way for you to leverage someone else's audience as a speaker. So many times people have joined my course because they heard, I've got my own podcast called Pitch Perfect, but most of the time they've heard me on someone else's podcast, because that is a great way for you to leverage their established audience. We had the question from Greg yesterday about partnering up with other speakers, and my response at the time was, it's a great way to then access their email list, their audience, their followers. And that's why podcast guesting is really incredible for you to do that as a speaker. For your one sheets that you've got the template for now in the Facebook group, it's also a great opportunity for you to put podcast episodes you've appeared on as seen on, and have the little podcast tiles. Another thing for those of you who've been on, and I'm not seeing too many me's, which means I know a lot of you looking at your faces have been on at least one other podcast. It's a great way for you to set up a Spotify playlist. I haven't done this yet. It's on my to-do list, but any podcast that I've been on probably over 100 now in the last 2 years. I really prioritize this a lot. You can create a playlist, and then people can actually go to that playlist and see all the different episodes of different podcasts that you've been on. It's really, really cool. And you can then add that to your website. You can share that playlist link on your socials. It's really, really good. So Beck's already done that. She's been on 50, and the playlist I've created is awesome. We have such a varying mix of experiences here today. Kate, congratulations. That's fantastic. Let's make it many, because it's a really fast way for you to boost your business and for you to boost your profile. Now, for me personally, I also don't scoff at the fact that this happens to me a lot. People will pitch to me to go on their podcast, and they might say, I've only got 10, 20 followers, they'll often say that. 20 downloads every episode. For me, imagine 20 people in a room, captive audience, listening to you. That is so powerful. That is amazing. That's 20 people that you've got the opportunity that are listening to your content, listening to your interview. For me, and I know that, when you get really, really big, people will say, oh, I'm not going to waste my time on those small ones. For me, I'm like, that's 20 potential sales or 10 potential sales. I will go on anyone's podcast because I just have got so much value out of it. In fact, I just would love to know, I might not have any because a lot of you have come from Facebook ads, but have any of you heard me on someone else's podcast or a podcast at all? And that's how you started following me. I'd love to know. I know I'm putting that out there because I know I've bought courses from a lot of people, or I've booked them as a speaker, or I've just collaborated with them after hearing them on a podcast. In fact, and I follow them for a while and start listening to their podcast. Oh, yeah, great. So Danny said her VA heard me on a podcast and sent me the link. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. Because it's really, really, really a powerful way to get exposure to new audiences. Jenfords, do you send some of your recorded podcasts to other people who ask? What do you mean by that? Do you want to clarify that, what you mean? Because, they're all on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It used to be Google as well. So Carol says, this past week I listened to several of me being a guest podcast. Oh, great. I'm really glad to hear that. So let's turn that round and let's get yourselves on other people's podcasts. Really, really powerful. So Denford, just feel free. You can either, I'll unmute you at the end when we go to questions, or you can clarify what you mean by that. I'd love to help you out with that question. Was that someone on mute? No, it wasn't Denford. No, we'll come back. All right. So podcast pitching is so powerful, but you want to make it personalized. I get pitched to all the time, and you can tell when it's generic. You go, I just wanted to, or someone else will pitch on someone else's behalf. I like it to be from the person, and I like to know what value they're going to offer my audience. If someone asks you to be on a podcast, do you send them a recorded one? No, I just do the interview live. I go onto Zoom. I'm happy to clarify more later if you like, but I just, if they ask me to go on their podcast, I will go, sure, let's lock it in. And I will do it usually via Zoom. Sometimes I'll go in the studio and do it as well if they're local or if I'm in Sydney. So hopefully that answers that question, but happy to clarify more at the end as well. Oh, that was Tim, sorry, clarifying that. Yeah. I don't ever send them a recorded one. I always just do them like live, as a Zoom interview. Do your research, listen to some of their episodes. Now, I'm telling you this from someone who's made mistakes. When I first started pitching, we just went, these are all the podcasts I want to go on. I screenshot them all, sent them to Shira, my fabulous VA, and said, pitch to as many as possible. it was not effective because it was too generic. And in one case, I actually had a podcast host come back to me and she said, I just want to confirm that you have been diagnosed with ADHD because we are a podcast for adults with ADHD, entrepreneurs with ADHD. And like, I probably, have those traits, but I haven't been diagnosed with that. And I was embarrassed because clearly I was caught out. I hadn't listened to the podcast. And so it's just counterproductive, really. It could potentially have ruined my reputation. They could have talked about me on socials as pitching to someone when they made it clear they only have guests who have diagnosed ADHD as an adult. And so do your research, listen to their style, because sometimes they'll ask all their guests the same question. So be prepared for that. I've been caught out with that too, actually. Even when someone has asked me to go on their podcast, I haven't had a chance to listen to it. And then it's got to the end. It's happened probably at least 3 times. And they'll say, now the question we ask all our guests is, and they'll ask a question about, I was on one the other day about networking. And I'm like, oh, good question. And it showed that I hadn't listened. So I cannot stress enough to not only listen before you pitch, but listen before you go on the podcast as well. And think about what value you can offer. And then you send to as many as possible. And how do we target them? We look at where our competitors are appearing. We also think about, where our ideal customer is hanging out. Let me show you my podcast pitch. However, I think you can even get ChatGPT to help you make it even more personalized. I actually don't use this so much anymore because I really tailor it. I'll say, I loved your episode on XYZ, but something like this, just to give you a bit of an idea. So, dear Roy, I'm a big fan of your show, what the show is, and would love to collaborate. Even this these days is a bit too generic and, not personal. I'm inquiring. I would even change it now to I'd love to go on your podcast. I loved your episode with Rebecca Saunders. I met Rebecca and I've worked with her for a number of years in our mastermind. I really loved what you talked about X, Y, and Z. Your audience is all into, relate to their target audience, and I'd love to add massive value and then talk about what value you can add to share with their audience. And I'd love to share both from mine and, insert some awards you might have won or anything there you can add that's just going to, big note yourself and if you've won any awards, you've worked with some clients or anything like that. I've attached some quick info so you can see what I'm talking about, and that's where you put your one sheet in your email. Let me know. So feel free to screenshot this if you like, but ChatGPT will give you something even better, especially if you really give it a lot of great prompts and explain, what that show is about. You might want to punch some transcripts in there of your previous ones or perhaps the current ones that you're pitching to their podcast, just so it can really, really personalize it. But you don't want to make it sound ChatGPT either. You really just want to focus on the value that you're going to offer their audience. And then, insert the name of the show, and I'd love to be on, in my case, mine's called Pitch Perfect. So that gives you just an idea of just how you can be straight to the point, attach your one sheet and pitch. And if you wrote this to me and I was like, wow, a lot of my audience are entrepreneurs, small business owners, time poor business owners, and potential speakers, paid speakers, wannabe paid speakers. If you wrote this to me and really focused on who my audience is and other topics I've had, I'm going to lap that up. I'm going to go, great. I'd love to go on. I'd love to have you on my show because you're going to have your own audience. You're going to share it to your socials. It's a win-win. And that's what this is often about, collaborating with podcast guests and podcast hosts. All right. So we talked yesterday about Source Bottle. Who still hasn't signed up or doesn't know about Source Bottle? Because it is an incredible way for you to boost your profile as a speaker. It gives you credibility, especially if you start responding to ones that are on, like, say, Channel 7, The Project, Sydney Morning Herald, The Australian, all of these different high-profile media organisations, ABC. You can then add that to your one sheet and also add it to your website. And also, people are going to hear you and think, I like what he or she is talking about. I'm going to book them as a speaker. They'll go to Google and look you up. So I think I'm pitching to them wrong. I haven't had any replies. Oh, wow, it's really unusual. Actually, Beck, let's chat later because I know we're friends and I'd love to see what you're sending them or if you can send me one that you're thinking about pitching to, and I'd love to help you on that because 100% strike rate. I have a PR club, and a lot of our members are scoring big ones, like the morning show on Channel 7. They're getting asked back all the time. We've got, Sunrise, Today's Show. Just every time I open up LinkedIn, my PR club members are getting amazing coverage, and it's all starting from Source Bottle. Because often journalists are desperate when they pitch on there. Good on you, Tim. Sent my first message off this morning. Great. Love an action taker. That's okay, Kate. We'll catch the recording. We'll see you tomorrow. Right, Mel. I mean, hopefully you're regularly pitching, because you can get into those habits where you think, I didn't hear anything back, or I picked the wrong ones it was a PR agency or a really small time blog. I hate the ones where they ask you to submit something. So you go to all this work and you write a blog and then you don't hear from them. I like the ones where I just pitch and then they call me. Say, yep, you're just what we need. And often the big time media organizations, they're the ones who need someone right now. Need someone in Sydney for Channel 9 News tonight, who's just bought a house, or who's renting, or who's just changed jobs, or who's just had a baby, all these different things. Great. Oh, great gold nugget already. Yes, from yesterday. Wow, Ted, good on you. That's so great to hear. Ted and Tim, gold stars for you. You're straight onto it, because it's really, really powerful for you to start pitching yourself as a speaker. You took a break from it for a while. You just become desensitized. So if you weren't here yesterday, you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Source Bottle, sign up as Be a Source, and twice a day you will get email call outs. There's an American version as well. There's also another one called Help a Reporter Out for those who aren't in Australia, particularly America, but the Help a Reporter Out is huge. Haro. So many go to your inbox from journalists that after a while you're like, whoa, it's overwhelming. But that is another alternative if you want to start jumping on some media opportunities to really promote yourself. And once again, it's the opportunities which have nothing to do with your business that will give you the biggest plug for your business. Like me buying a coffee machine to save money, got a huge spiel about my business in that as well. I haven't paid for Source Bottle. Someone yesterday mentioned it is worth it because a journalist can go there. It's not much. I think it's about $30, and they can go find a source. But in my experience, they often just punch in what they need, and that goes into your inbox in the free version as well. All right. So, receiving drink up alerts. So you did sign up as an expert. Yeah. Okay. Receiving drink up alerts. Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I've never paid for it personally, and I will, they do have ads in the email. Like people will pay to have that spot in there. So they still make money from the free version as well in that sense. But if it's, you might want to try it. It's only $27 or something like that. All right. So LinkedIn. Now, tomorrow I'm going to really delve in and show you some mind-blowing things with LinkedIn and how I use LinkedIn to find decision makers in any company. But I'm just going to show you now with LinkedIn what I do and how effective it is to get speaking gigs. Now, when I'm in Australia, I get about 2 a month from this exact technique. So what I do is, so for example, we will go through, and I have the premium version. I could do a whole day on LinkedIn, but a little tip, LinkedIn Premium is cheaper if you go onto this little hexagon thing here and you sign up to LinkedIn Learning. It's about half the price. So instead of about $90 a month for premium, I pay on an annual thing. It's only like less than $40 a month, and they give you premium for free. There are all different levels, but you can see I've got premium because I paid for LinkedIn Learning. I think it's like $400 a year, and they give me the premium. Now, the advantage with premium is you get more searches every week. If you just have the free version, they'll often say you've used your search for the week. So you might want to consider investing in that. I know you can't invest in everything, but for example, what we will do is we will often go, I'll say to my VA, I want you to target CEOs in Sydney. So we might go CEO, but we don't just target CEOs. We also target administration officers because sometimes they've been tasked with finding speakers. But let's just say this guy here, and I could have typed in, I could have gone into all filters. Tomorrow, I'm going to take you into how to do this a bit more. I don't want to overwhelm you all. It's why this challenge is 3 days. But I could go Sydney, and I could type in Newcastle or whatever. So let's just say I want to connect with Leonard Simmons. We're not connected yet. He's a second connection, which means we have one connection in common. So you can only do this currently from the desktop version of LinkedIn. You hit connect on the desktop version and it gives you the opportunity to add a note. It won't give you this opportunity at the moment on the LinkedIn app. So it basically just sends a generic one, I want to connect with you on LinkedIn. But on the desktop version, you can add a note here. And this is gold, worth doing. To show you how much I believe in this concept, I'm not breaching any privacy because we literally just go through and type in CEO. What we do is we go through, we might type in CFO, CEO, general manager, director. Sometimes we might go through admin or training managers because we get a lot of corporate speaking gigs from training managers, HR managers, and we literally send them this message. So, hi Susan, I'm a public speaking coach based in Newcastle and I teach entrepreneurs and staff how to feel more confident when speaking. Please keep me in mind if you ever need my services. I run virtual sessions and I also travel regularly to train clients. Now, you could put it on there. I'm actually a keynote speaker. These are my topics, but I get a lot of income from corporate training workshops. Now, I'm going to just show you what I write. It's the same thing I just shared there. This is it. And we send it to as many as we can every week. I think it's about, Shira, do you want to write into the chat what the weekly limit is approximately? So I think it is about 180 or something a week and before it resets. Yes, the free version just has 5 notes a month. Yeah, it's a big difference. So you can add a note via the app. Don't hit connect, hit the 3 dots. Oh, that's great. Well, that's good because that's fairly new for many, like at least a couple of years. You could only do it from the desktop version. So that's really good to know, actually, that you can do it from. But it is easy to do it from the desktop version if you're sending in bulk. You know, you can just go bang, bang, bang. And it's actually already, someone has written back to me here, hey, Jamie, this is something I'm interested in. It happens twice a month. People will respond. This is a great way to not only boost your connections, people are getting a nice friendly message and you're explaining why you're trying to connect, but twice a month on average, and I'm talking big players. So Winning Appliances was the last one I did in Australia from doing this technique. Big juice company on the Central Coast, another large car company in Sydney where I've gone in just from this little technique. And I've also boosted my connection. So we've gone from having 500 connections 2.5 years ago when my VA first came on to now 10,000 followers. And we send the maximum every single week of this connection request little thing. So it's really powerful. Tomorrow we're going to take it a step further and show you how to get individual names and then their email addresses. It's all legal, but it's total stalker stuff as far as finding anyone's email address. It's going to blow your mind. I can't wait to show you all. These days with AI, we'll often really use AI to send targeted personalized emails, particularly for a conference where I know there's going to be orthopedic surgeons in the room, like I spoke about yesterday that I scored that gig in London last year. Yes, we do keep a spreadsheet, and I'm going to show you that exact Trello template tomorrow of all the different how we work our way through Woolworths, Qantas, Macquarie Bank, Bunnings. We had Bunnings, Macquarie Bank, Qantas, hopefully Telstra, and I'm of Telstra, have all been successful pitches. But I've been in Jamaica for the last 8 months as well, so I've been a bit limited logistically when they want me to run in-person training workshops. My keynote presentation on how to be an amazing speaker, by the way, I can push out to half a day workshop. 3 hours is the ideal, which is basically an elongated version of my keynote, just with some engagement activities, break up into twos, have some role play, all that sort of thing. So there's no reason why many of you can't do that as well. Thanks, Shira. So 180 to 200 a week. Not all of them are accepting those requests, of course. Otherwise, you'd be getting 800 a month. But a lot do. And the ones that do are showing that interest in already wanting someone in that particular field. So it's a really great way of connecting virtually to people. All right, speaker bureaus. This is really powerful and something I highly recommend that you do to start pitching yourself as a speaker. And I did it the other day with one of the largest ones in Australia. I just wrote a pitch to them. They've come straight back to me. I sent them quite an amateur video of me speaking at an event recently. It was just done on someone's phone and they loved it. And they came back and I actually said to them, look, I'm getting my speaker show reel redone. I had it recorded on the Gold Coast about 6 weeks ago. And they said, great, we'll wait for that to come. But, in the meantime, fill this form in with all my prices. I have to double check. I think it's about 30% commission. I did think I was going to check it between yesterday and today. But I think from memory, it's about 30% commission. So I said something like my standard rate was 15,000, knowing they're going to take 5,000 of that. But it's a great way for you to get exposure to clients that you wouldn't otherwise have got exposure to, because some big time corporates will only go to speaker bureaus. In Pay to Speak, you get a copy of the 16 top ones that I recommend with their details on a spreadsheet as well, because some of the smaller ones are actually really, really worthwhile. The last round of Pay to Speak in October, we had some going, it's like kind of ranked as far as large, effectiveness, like Saxton speakers and celebrity speakers are in the top 2. But then as it goes down, there's some smaller boutique ones, but people are getting massive gigs from those smaller boutique ones. And they're even negotiating being exclusive with them in exchange for less commission, rather than being on all of them. But you don't have to be exclusive, so you might as well be in it to win it. No, you do not need to have a number of paid gigs to apply, but they want to see footage of you speaking. And so, they don't say how many you've done or anything like that. All they care about is the value you can provide audiences and how you sound and how you look when you're speaking. And mine wasn't even that crash hot, the video that I sent them. It was just, as I said, on someone's smartphone. All right, so I knew I'd finish with good timing to open up to questions. So I'm just about to go on to Saxton's now, because I've just got my show reel coming in the next couple of days, and I just wanted to get certain parts of this keynote that I did for my show reel. So I'm hoping I will. So PJ, it's great you're already on there. Tomorrow, and also in the course, I have a whole section on speaker bureaus, what not to do, what to do, how to make sure you're staying in contact with them, and little things such as if you're at a gig. And people have made this mistake. If you're at a gig that you got, say you're speaking for Westpac, and Saxton or any celebrity speakers or any other speaker bureau got you onto that gig because, they booked you through that speaker bureau. What happens many times is someone in the audience will come up to you and say, we loved you. Can we book you for our upcoming Strategic Managers Day in Broome? This is a true story. We just want to book you with you direct. You have to put them back through the speaker bureau, because you are there on a speaker bureau booking. It'll come undone very, very quickly if they find out you're undercutting them and going directly. And even if it's months and months and months of follow-up, if you do the right thing by them, they will reward you. They do have a lot of, people on their books though. So it's a matter of staying in touch with them, giving them updated video of you speaking, pitching yourself. So, there's a lot of people in that space, but it's still, you might as well be in it to win it. So be on a couple, if you can, of speaker bureaus. All right. Just help a reporter out pay. Yeah, they're just similar to Source Bottle, where all the journalists go on there and just want talent. Some may pay for you to contribute, especially because there's a lot of blogs and stuff like that, and you do get paid a contribution. But generally speaking, it's mostly you want to look at these Source Bottles and Haro, help a reporter out, to get yourself massive coverage in the media for your credibility and to really get exposure to massive audiences. Now, some of you are jumping into the course. Welcome. I thought I would just once again explain you're going to get this corporate proposal template, which is the one I use to pitch to corporate clients. If you join, plus I'm going to give you the Macquarie Group one, which I successfully use word for word, so you can actually see what corporates want. So it's got all this information here. I added my little course. Think about what value you can provide as kind of an upsell as well when you're speaking. You don't have to have this page, but I've just put it in there anyway. Different packages, a bit about you. So look, once again, as seen on the project, that was a Source Bottle call out as well, giving me that credibility, a couple of testimonials as well. So you're going to get that if you join Paid to Speak between now and tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Sydney time. This is the actual course, by the way, just to give you a bit of a behind the scenes glimpse of all the different things you get. There's 9 modules, because the 9th one is a lot of bonus bonuses. You've got all these different videos. There's about 63 videos at last count, all about topics that sell. And you can watch all this on the Kajabi app, by the way. You've got all your templates. So you've got your 4-page bio, your 6-page bio, go through step by step on how to set up your web page, branding, photo shoots, some speaker agreement templates. This is really handy because you want to really negotiate when people are booking you. I've got an online version and an in-person version, just on all the things you can and can't do. It's really great to have that. So, because sometimes you're going in blind, not knowing, can I use video? Am I allowed to bring a third person in to shoot some reels of me? All that sort of thing you want to have in writing. All about your rates, what I charge. If you do speak for free, what you can ask for in exchange for that. I've got a rates calculator. This is a pretty new addition to the course, actually. It's a spreadsheet where you type in everything involved, everything from your laptop depreciation to your fuel, to your car, the mileage, any sort of lunch, parking. And then we add a nice healthy profit, about 60% profit, because people always say to me, how much should I charge for this event? I've got this speaking opportunity. How much should I charge? It's probably the number one question I get asked all the time. So I've actually included a spreadsheet calculator for you to get a really great figure and add that huge buffer of 60% to make it worth your while. And there's things in there you wouldn't even think about, like the laptop depreciation. I have a whole module on different steps to be a podcast guest. It's how important I find it. This is for those people who really want to master their public speaking as well. So I go through how to manage nerves and fears, how to put together a really great presentation and structure it as well and come up with a plan. There's a whole module on marketing and promotion, everything from how to write. So there's a lot in here, by the way. It's why I give you 12 months access to all the videos, how to pitch yourself to different media organizations. You're going to get 1,000 media contacts in here. You've got scripts word for word on how to pitch to the media as well. This is how important it is as a speaker. I'm having that PR background, all about what the media wants. Speaking online as well as a whole section on that about Facebook Live, Zoom webinars, and then you get lifetime access. There's about 12 different planners in there. Some of these are 63 pages. I think the minimum is 30 pages. Everything from how to write your sales page to your life and business planner, how to get paid your worth. They're all PDFs that as soon as you get the course, download those, and you've got those for life. And then you get 12 months access to all the course content. Plus you get a group coaching session with me live on Zoom, and that'll be Thursday the 4th of July, which is also recorded. But I run that 4 weeks in because that's often when either you need a kick up the butt to say go through the content, or you've got questions 4 weeks in, and that's a really great opportunity to rack my brain at that time as well. So that's paid to speak. The bonus expires tomorrow, 6 p.m. Wednesday. If you join in, you get everything I've talked about. It's really, there's nothing. People have never said to me there's not enough content. There is a lot in there for those who have jumped in or are jumping in. Don't be overwhelmed because, I want you to finish the course. If it gets to the 12 months and you haven't finished it, I do say to people, I'll give you, a bit longer. I just don't say lifetime access because I know when I've bought lifetime access, I never look at the course. I bought Marie Forleo's B School, for those of you who've done that course. Because I have lifetime access, I just have no deadline to look at it. I want people to finish this. I want people to get results and give you everything you need to start pitching yourself as a professional speaker. These are all the bonuses that you get in there. There's a lot. It's incredible value. And, you get one paid speaking gig straight away and you've paid for the course. It's $14.97 up front, or it's $279 for a month for 6 months. And you still get all the content straight up as well. There's no drip feeding or anything like that. So that brings me to the end. We've got 10 minutes left. I knew I'd go under. Anyone would like to ask a question, just type the word question into the chat and then you can fire away. It's Australian dollars. Yeah, everything's in Australian dollars just because I mostly have Australian clients. Yeah, it's cheaper that way too for everyone who it's in Australian dollars. Yeah, Joe, do you want to unmute and ask away?
Hi. Yeah, I was wondering with presentation slides, is there some kind of guidelines about how many slides you should have in a presentation?
So when you're doing a keynote?
Yeah.
Yeah, good question. Generally less is more. except if you have got a lot of cool pictures and you can just slide through them. So if they're fun, interactive images that are going to make people laugh, couple of videos, you could just really power through those because people have a short attention span, so you don't want to have one held up for too long. But there's no sort of, I wouldn't want to see 100 slides, death by PowerPoint. Use it as an enhancement, and as many pictures, visuals as possible. And every 2 to 3 minutes, you want to do something which is going to break up the audience's attention span. I have the shortest attention span. I'm always tuned out. Even when my friends are talking to me, I tune out. They're so used to it. But if you can break it up and say, even, the classic ones are find someone in the room, or even just let's see a show of hands, something like that, or get a pen and paper. You ready to write this down? And people write it down. So just things like that can really break it up. But yeah, generally less is more unless you can fly through them. Look at this and look at that. Just really keep them going as fast as possible. I use Canva too rather than PowerPoint these days. I just love it. Love how the slides look on that. Help a reporter out is now connectivity as well. So actually, Yentul, do you want to share that into the Zoom chat? Thanks for that. It still comes up in my emails as Haro, probably because I've saved the email address. So it's now connectivity. So it's connectivity.us. So thank you very much for that. Tim, you bought the course? Yeah. If you can't find the link to the course itself. So I'll just put the link. You can just log back in, jamieabbott.com.au, and you can reset your password from here if you need to as well. And then when you download the Kajabi app, you just use the same email that you signed up for. So welcome. I think you were the first one, Tim. You bought it from memory at 6:10 on Saturday morning when the waitlist opened, I think. So I was very excited to see that. You are the first or second one that came through. So yeah, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to working with you on that. So that was Joe's question. Diana, did you want to unmute? Is Diana here? Diana, I can see you there. Diana? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Jamie. I just sent you message now. So do you do one-on-one coaching for, someone like me who is coming from a totally different, career and wanting to become somebody different, like change my life completely? So if I join you, do you do coaching, one-on-one coaching, or how does it work? Yeah,
so I don't, as part of the course for the regular intake, one-on-one is not part of that, but we do the live group coaching session. I do offer one-on-ones though on my website. If you want to have a look at under my work with me, you can buy one-on-ones with me via Zoom, and it's very, very flexible with that. You can buy an hour at a time, or you can buy 3-hour packages, so you can break it up, buying 3 at a time. But, with the course, the group coaching session is pretty intense. And, often a lot of people don't come, or they submit their questions beforehand, but I will stay until the absolute very end, answering as many questions as possible. So that's why I run it 4 weeks in, because you've had a bit of a chance to absorb some of the content then. So more than happy to work with you one-on-one outside the course, but otherwise the group live coaching session is included in the course as well. So thank you. All right, Greg, question, sharing resources among the group. How do you feel about that? Or do we channel the Facebook group? So, share what you can in the Speak and Earn chat. It will be kept live up until the end of the Pay to Speak launch, up until the end. Absolutely. Yeah, totally. You just can't promote or advertise necessarily in the Facebook group. You can promote yourself by putting your one sheet on there and asking for feedback. But yeah, absolutely. It's a community. It's active. We all want to encourage each other for the next week and get as much out of this time as you can, because I know you're all very busy people and you've given up your time, an hour each day for 3 days. So yeah, get as much value as you can and collaborate with each other in that group. That's fine. Thanks, Yentul. Appreciate that. Oh, thanks, Yentul. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. So Diana did ask that question. Thank you. Tim was camping. Right. So you were up early. Great. Any other questions? You've got a couple more minutes. Type into the chat if you would like to ask anything. I'll punch into the chat here. Pay to speak. Yeah, great. Hannah, would you like to unmute?
Thank you, Jamie. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, I'm sort of on the cusp. Well, I'm not really on the cusp, but I haven't done my presentation yet. So I don't know really what my actual message is. And I have a few messages, but I haven't really nailed down who my target market is and how to do the actual presentation well. Do you recommend any other companies who can help me with perhaps doing a 1-day workshop of getting my presentation up?
Yeah, so it's something that I specialize in. I mean, you've got a bit of an idea, though, haven't you, on what your topics are? And you had that one in Port Stephens from memory yesterday. You were talking about that. Was that you that had the one in the presentation in Port Stephens?
I actually traveled around Australia and I stopped in Port Stephens, and we're moving there shortly.
Oh, great!
So
my neck of the woods.
I joined Toastmaster there for a night.
Yeah, fabulous. Well, I mean,
so I've been trying to put a presentation together for my book. In the end, it was too much about coaching. So my book presentation has to be solely for the book, I realized, and my coaching can be something else. But my message to empowering women can be another topic.
Yeah.
So I've got a few things going on, but I haven't really have a polished presentation yet.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is what the course is designed to do. It's mostly for beginners who really are sort of not struggling, but have often got 2 different or 3 different areas. Actually, I did see a question that I didn't answer about if you've got 2 different target markets. And people often think, well, what's going to be the winner? So the course has that entire module. It's hours and hours of content to show you how to structure your presentation, what's going to really sell, how to pitch. But I think, when you start pitching and you start speaking more regularly, Hannah, you're really going to get a feel for what works, what people like. But you won't necessarily know that to really hone in on that until you start pitching. Like for myself, I got no bites from the PR side of things at all. And then you'll start putting it together and you'll start testing it. You'll start recording yourself. You'll start getting testimonials. You'll get audience feedback, and you're not going to be this amazing speaker with it just all nailed with your key message straight away. It's going to happen quickly, the more speeches that you do and the more keynotes you do. But it will happen. Absolutely. The more you do and you do the course, and, it's going to give you all that material on what makes an amazing presentation. But you can't beat that real life experience either. So I help with that. That's what I specialize in as well. The next level up, for those of you who are already speaking at the 10K sort of gigs, is someone called Amanda Stevens. So her and I kind of work a little bit together. I have the people who are hoping to get into the industry from scratch and have done too many free gigs. Whereas the next level up is Amanda Stevens. So check her out. She's a fabulous speaker as well. She's kind of dealing with the 10 to 20K gig people already, who are already getting that. So we send clients to each other, which is very, very good. But we'd love to work with you more, Hannah, because it sounds like you've got a lot of different skill sets and topics to contribute. But you just kind of got to really master the one that you're just going to focus on and go hard on. Josephine, question. Feel free to unmute.
Thank you. So this Sunday I've got a speaking gig. It is unpaid. The reason I've taken it is because the organisers are still from my industry, and they're quite like people really respect them. So I suppose being associated to them puts me in on a higher platform in my industry, which is really exciting. But the people I'm speaking to aren't necessarily the people that buy my programs and courses. So they're not the studio owner, they're the parents. And I've got a targeted thing for them. But I still thought, they said I can sell from stage, but my typical sale option wouldn't be to them. But I was just going to create something like a low cost offer download or something. Do you think that's worth it?
Yeah, so
is it enough to go to the event, be associated with these people for the sake of content and industry recognition without selling something, or should I put the effort in, create a little guide or something that these people can download for a small fee? Like, what's your thoughts?
3 things come to mind straight away. First of all, don't underestimate the power that those people in the audience have of wanting to rack your brain. So they may want to actually book you one-on-one as a coach. You never know, Josephine, you never know. So this is another thing for everyone. Sometimes I've spoken for free and I've walked off stage with $9,000 in booked coaching. People want more. They're going to fall in love with you and go, I just want to have a one-on-one with her just to work out my strategy, just to work out what direction I'm going, whether you're a speaker or whether you're, a dance studio owner, which is your target audience. So have the coaching ready. Because people will say that to me all the time. How can I work with you? I'll say, yep, jamieabbott.com.au/coaching. And it just can be anything. You just create an event. If you haven't got a website yet, just create a sticky tickets or an event, right? But you have a website.
I've got everything.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. That's brought a lot of clarity because I was thinking, what can I sell to these people? Do I have to spend a day creating a new asset that I'm not going to sell to anyone else at the risk that no one will buy it?
Exactly.
But what you've said is perfect. I do offer private coaching. I'm a performing arts business coach. No, they're not studio owners, but I can absolutely help and mentor their careers. Of course, I can offer private coaching.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, sometimes you can make more money from that. The other two quickly things that came to mind is get some testimonials from those people. If they're in your industry and they're credible, get some testimonials about you as a speaker. So I've just seen Josephine speak. I own a dance studio and I learned so much, X, Y, and Z. Get them on camera. That's social proof. And then thirdly,
and so that's really cool. Love it. So you don't necessarily sell the coaching package from stage. You let people know it's available and how they can contact you. Is that enough?
Yeah. So if you're going to be pushing one thing on the stage on Sunday, I'd be wanting them on your email list. So I'd be giving away a free thing, even though you don't think you're necessarily going to sell anything to them. You just never know. They're your people still. So I'd be giving away a free lead magnet. This is the other thing for everyone. I will do free events if I know I want the people in the room on my email list. My email list is gold. Most people who buy my paid to speak course or who invest in coaching with me, they've been on my list for an average of 5 months. So many of you have come into this, you've been on my email list, you've followed me, you've heard me on a podcast, you've heard me speak, you've seen me on a reel or anything like that. And then you've been on my list for an average of 5 months. Some are more, some are less. Some people one lady who bought the course this morning, she only came onto my list 10 days ago, but then others might be on there for 12 months, but it's an average of 5 months. So you want to give away something for free and say, I've actually got a free guide. If anyone would like to know more, I've developed a free guide. It can be a 2-page PDF. In fact, that's what mine is, a 2-page how to become a paid speaker checklist. It's quick. It's not cheap and nasty, but people are going to be more interested in a 2-page checklist than they are an 80-page ebook. So get them on your email list, get some testimonials. It's for people who want to come up to you and say privately, I loved that. How can I just rack your brain? I'd love to talk to you more about X, and go, yeah, here's my coaching packages. So you're not necessarily selling that on this, because you don't want to sell too many things and or have too many offers.
You could mention that you offer it without selling it.
Yeah,
and then get on their email list through a free lead magnet, like you said, and then I can do a follow-up email later because I've got them on my mailing list saying, hey, by the way. Yeah, I love it. And that has brought so much clarity. Thank you.
You're welcome. No worries at all. All right. So just a couple of quick questions there, because I've told a lie again. I've gone 5 minutes over. Setup costs, a ballpark figure, hardly anything. Paid to speak, $14.97 there, Greg. You don't need a lot. I just spent $7,500 on my speaker show reel. I've only just done that now for the first time. I've been properly speaking professionally, like 10K more, for less than 3 years. Well, it'll be almost 3 years in December when I had that $30,000 one. That's kind of the line in the sand where I think that's when I got really serious about it. Should have done it 10 years earlier. And so it's only taken me now to actually justify spending $7,500, but I haven't needed to do that. I've just had my smartphone and I've submitted that to speaker bureaus or to other clients. I have Kajabi, which is my platform I use for everything, but you don't need to spend a lot. The Logitech Brio, it took me 2 years to buy this microphone. I just had a Yeti Blue, which I bought secondhand off eBay for about $80. You don't need a lot as far as your setup costs, a professional website, all that sort of stuff. You just need to be in the right place at the right time, using LinkedIn to connect with people. Well, I'm going to show you tomorrow how to find people and email them. You don't need a huge setup cost for this. It's just you and getting yourself out there. Great. Anita's going to be speaking at that Mind Body Spirit Festival free on Saturday, but giving away my ebook for the emails. Yeah, great. It's all about the email list. It's such a powerful marketing thing as well. Just one last question here from Naomi. Would love my view on an email list primarily to promote upcoming events, coaching, etc., versus sending weekly, monthly generalized tips and information. Yeah, so even as a speaker, I still follow the principle, and this is just the world according to me, by the way. You know, with marketing, there's not Gary Vaynerchuk may say something different or another marketing expert. This is just what I do. I'm all about value, 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 sell. So you will probably notice we've just gone through day 2. I'm about giving you everything. I just give all my knowledge, share everything. I'm very generous with what I can share and just be an open book. For me, that works. People, you know, they want more, so they'll go and they'll buy pay to speak now this time, this week, or maybe next launch. You know, they'll follow my stuff, they'll consume all my free content. I'm all about value, 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 sell. So if there's a month, I will do 3 weeks of tips on my email list. So free tips, how to master public speaking nerves and fears, how to get your first 10K gig, how to get repeat clients. 3 weeks of tips, and maybe the 4th week I'll sell. So, you know, I've got my course coming up, or I've got PR Club. You can join my membership. I think you got to build up that know, like, and trust factor first by giving away those tips, and then promote your event, your coaching services. Because if you're always just pitching your course or your services, people will unsubscribe. They want to know what's in it for them. So for me, I just give, and people will say, you know, you should save your best content for the paid clients. But I just think, no, it's like if you go and you buy a television, but this is a good example. If you go and buy a television, you want to know all the features. You want to know everything. If the salesperson is holding back information, you're not going to necessarily buy it. So I just give my all. Tomorrow in particular, you're going to be mind blown with, you know, the money that the techniques that I use to make a lot of money. With finding decision makers, but I'd rather blow your mind and inspire you all so you know this is possible. You know it's just within a really short reach for you. So then you will work with me. You know, you're getting a real taste of what it's like to work with me now. And so that's just my philosophy, that I believe in value, 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 then sell. Just so people can build up that credibility. You can build up that credibility with people. So hopefully that answers your question there. So the breakdown of the prices for the course, Lauren. So it's $279 a month for 6 months. Most people do that. It's only a little bit more expensive that way, or $14.97 up front, and you get the discount of, like, was it $150 or something? A bit cheaper. Yeah, so most people will do the monthly one, you know, just for cash flow purposes, and then you still get all the content anyway. So that's totally up to you. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so looking forward to seeing you all same time, same place tomorrow. Don't miss it. The recording for this will go up, and don't forget that the bonuses, including that corporate training proposal template, will expire 6 p.m. tomorrow night on Wednesday, Sydney time, so Australian Eastern Standard Time, and looking forward to working with you more in the Paid to Speak course. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.